The next two names on our list, Idris Elba and Aidan Turner. And then I'll tell you who I think should be the next Bond. What's up, everyone? I am Chris Knight, and you are watching the Real Review 3000 here with part 4 of the Bond equation. This wraps up this week of Bond, and before I get to the next two people on our list and who I think the next Bond should be, I want to thank all of you out there. I just hit 600 plus subscribers now today as I'm shooting this video, and I want to thank every one of you for helping me get there. We're really close to getting to 1,000 now, and I can honestly say I never really thought that I'd be here right now at this number, and I really appreciate it from all of you. My stream to celebrate the 600 will be sometime next week, and I will have it on Twitter very soon. Now, with that, let's get in to our next two people on our list. First up, we'll do Idris Elba. He's a London-born son of working-class immigrants from Sierra Leone, and he could definitely craft a blue-collar Britain's Bond that is equally good-looking and no-holds-barred action brawler. Now, he has some serious acting chops, and, you know, he's scooped up a lot of awards, awards for like the stuff that's been on BBC One's Luther Mandela, The Long Walk to Freedom, and you know, not to mention he has this classic role from a little known cult hit called Pacific Rim. He played Stacker Pentecost in that, and honest to God, that alone makes the movie almost worth watching. Now, I wasn't a big fan of Pacific Rim, but I have seen it and I love his part in that. Now, he could easily bring his formidable martial arts ability to the role. And for reference, check out Hobbs and Shaw. If you've seen that movie, he's an excellent fighter, and he sells it. Jason Statham does too, and I've thought Jason Statham should possibly do Bond, but he's a little too, gruff. Idris Elba just has that nice, smooth way of doing things, and the way he fights just looks great. Now, on another note here, Elba was reluctantly drawn into the firestorm over the Bond role after writer Anthony Horowitz, who had been tasked with writing new Bond books, had said that Elba was too street for the role. Now, since that time, Horowitz has later apologized. He's said he meant no offense by it, and they've gone on down the road. But supposedly, that's where this all came up, and Elba's name got kind of thrown into it. Now, the whys and why nots. Let's just go real quick here with some whys. Amidst all the other names that are thrown around, all of them, Elba's has been the only one that keeps coming up and refusing to die. Literally, it's like it goes away, and then next thing you hear, oh, yeah, well, you know, Idris Elba, that's been the name thrown around. It's unsurprising because he's a perfect fit for the Bond criteria. He's tall, he's ridiculously attractive, and he's magnetic. He just has that personality that works for it. Now, not just that, but reports that I have heard suggest that the part may have already been offered to Elba by Barbara Broccoli, who's the franchise producer now. She's been quoted as saying, "It is time for a non-white actor to take the part as Bond." Now, non-white, that could be a lot of different people. That's not just a black actor. But if you think about it, it's not just that. Elba fits the criteria as an actor, and you know, it shouldn't be assumed that, you know, he's the only non-white actor for the job, like I just said. But that depends on what if Broccoli's statement is really the route they go. And if it is, really, in my opinion, who's better? Who's better out there to become this secret agent. He's absolutely the whole package wrapped up in a bow saying, here you go. And not only that, like I said, he fulfills that difference that a lot of people right now want. And not just because you want to fill it, but because he fits it. Now, the why nots for him, it's quite simply, honest to God, the moment may have passed. He's now 47, and he's like only 4 years younger than Daniel Craig, who is at the supposed end of his Bond career. Now, that alone has been the biggest factor in the argument against Idris Elba. And if this were the reason for him to miss out on playing one of the biggest roles in Hollywood, I personally would be less than impressed. Because let's just bring it up. Roger Moore was 45 when he took the role of Bond in 1973 in Live and Let Die. He retired from Bond at the age of 58. Moral of the story, there's plenty of time. Now, the second name, Aidan Turner. Now, Aidan isn't familiar to a bunch of us here in America. Definitely not as much as Cavill or Elba, but that could change. He's a 36-year-old Irish actor he was named Glamour's Sexiest Man of 2016, and he is one of the favorites. Bookies and a lot of other people are picking him to be the next to suit up for 007. He has the looks, and he has the Britain-centric acting experience. His leading role is the seaman Ross Poldark in BBC's 2015 adaptation of the Poldark novels. It basically is like training for MI6. I mean, it was perfect for that. And if there's a hint to just how gloomy his Bond could go, you could check out the BBC's Agatha Christie and Then There Were None. Now, you may not know Agatha Christie. I'm a big mystery buff, and she was a mystery writer. And when I saw that, I gotta say, he has that brood that I think Bond should have. Bond isn't a happy-go-lucky guy. He's got a lot of problems. He's got a lot of inner turmoil. So you got to have that gloom. You got to have that broodiness. Now, the whys and why nots. After Poldark, he's going to have all the female fans. I mean, he's got tons of them as it is over in England, and that's a definite why. You're going to pull in women, and that's how they do it, is the person who's playing Bond. They pull women in by that. That's really why women watch Bond, is for Bond. Men do it too, but for different reasons. You could check him out in The Hobbit. He played a dwarf, but it basically proves that he has the ability to play just about anything, and that would include Bond. I mean, I have no doubt about that. Both Roger Moore and Pierce Brosnan graduated from television, from a television lead to become James Bond, which means that there's pedigree for how this has happened before, from TV to Bond. So basically, he would offer a fresh take on Bond, fierce looks, absolutely, he could be your next Bond. There's just a lot of things pointing that direction. Now, the why not? There are a few obvious minuses to him. Profile, age, and look all feel about right. The real issue is star power. You got to have star power to be Bond. And he could carry the longest running cinematic franchise of all time. But I really don't think so. Sunday nights on BBC is one thing, and pulling off James Bond is another. Now, a few people who I've mentioned in the big list who have not actually been throwing their name around as wanting to play it. One would be Michael Fassbender, who's completely ruled himself out according to reports. The other is Tom Hardy. Now, if either one of them were to throw their hat on the stand, it seems unlikely Turner could fend them off. The only way he might be able to do is something like a screen test. Screen tests might make it happen. But if Fassbender or Hardy come in, I'd say somebody like Aidan Turner's completely out. Now, who do you think should be the one to play Bond? Well, I'll tell you who my choice is. My choice is Idris Elba. Not only has Barbara Broccoli said that it is time for a black Bond, but he fits the profile completely, to a T. He has the looks, he can pull off the effortless fight scenes, and he knows how to act. On top of that, why not a black Bond? I've always said you should never change a character's race or sex just to fill a quota. But when you have a contender as qualified as Elba, you're doing it because he fits the role. It is not to placate or to make people like SJWs happy. It's not there to fill the quota. It is there because he can do the part and he would do a good job. Now, that's my choice. What's your choice? Let me know down in the comments below. Tell me. I know I've seen Tom Hardy out there a couple times already, but is that your choice? Let me know. Now, 600 sub stream next week. We got the Mandalorian Roundtable coming up this weekend on Sunday. And we're still raising money for my son on GoFundMe and for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Check that out down below. Don't forget, hashtag PandaSuitMary. We're halfway to pay and halfway to hashtag PandaSuitMary. Do me a favor. Hit that bell. Smash that like button. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do subscribe. If you know somebody who might like our stuff, pass our name along, and let's hope they come and say they sub. With that said, I'm Chris Knight. This is The Real Review 3000, and I'm officially out of here.
Hey guys, thanks for time. Be sure to subscribe to both channels, and make sure to check out our friends in the Fandom Minutes. You can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and BitChute, and you can also send us an email at sean@seanstackhousereacts.com and chrisknight@therealreview3000.com. Be sure to swing by our Teespring store to pick up some awesome merchandise.